Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. Today we're going to spend some time together with a nice design. The design is mostly black and white with just one color. I'm gonna use a red. You can pick any tones or tint of red that you like. It's gonna be like, you're gonna work like free hands, so there will be some geometrical shapes included, some lines to create this pattern, this juxtaposition, so overlapping. And the focus is in the way that we use our space and we create an optical illusion on overlapping, and how we can use the lines to create a design that has some rhythm, movement, and this idea, right, of something that moves on our paper, sort of a little optical illusions, if we want to call it that way, but most of all, like a focus on overlapping and just having fun and see what happens if we repeat the same shape, the circle, overlapping the circle, using some specific type of lines, and taking care of the little background left at the end. With this practice, you're going to exercise your fine motor skills. You're going to exercise the concept of the element of space. So how much or how little you feel that you want to fill a space that you have available. We're going to review overlapping and directions. And most of all, we're going to relax and stay focused. So this practice is for everybody. If you need a little support to trace circles because you want your circle to look truly geometric, or because you are struggling in trace something that is as close as possible to a perfect circle, find yourself everything that is rounded in your home that you can use to trace the circle. You need one dimension more or less, so just when you find your one tool, you can use it. I will do it free hands. You can start with pencil first, just in case you want or you need to erase, and then you will go with the extra fine black Sharpies on top. And as I say, for this practice, you need very little things: your art journal or a mixed media paper, pencil for drawing, an extra fine black Sharpies, and one red markers. Any tone and tint of red that you like and you have available. Remember subscribing to my channel. There are so many practices that are focused on different elements such as color and coloring technique, space, lines, most of all, shapes, organic, geometric, a combination of both. These are beneficial practice for everyone, regardless the age and the artistic skills, and some of them are truly therapeutic just because of the nature of their practice. If you want to boost your drawing skill, I have specific drawing videos, and sometimes I combine drawing with some watercolor, so you actually gain two techniques in one. Subscribe to my channel, let me know in the comment, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you, and let's help this community to become bigger and better. I'm gonna switch the camera so we can start. Ciao. Okay, my friends, I already prepped my paper with a regular tip Sharpie. You know that I like to reframe just to stay focused inside the space. It's like it's something that helped me to concentrate. I'm gonna do with the pencil first, and then we can go on with the markers just in case my circle do not come up as I want them. I'm going to start to fill this space by doing the circle. You point your pencil and you move your hands around and you close it. Then I want some overlapping. You can have some change in the size of the circle, doesn't really matter. We don't want to overlap them too perfectly, so I want some, variation. Smaller, bigger, you do you. And that's it. I want to leave it as it is, so I have a little background. Now with my Sharpie, I'm going to go over don't worry if something like that happens. You will see that it won't compromise the design at all. I use the pencil first just for positioning my circle and overlapping them where I wanted to overlap. Now we're going to erase the lines underneath so they won't bother us, and we only see the black lines. So take a second to do that. Clean our page. Back to the Sharpie, I'm going to trace an oval. Inside each one of these circles, you notice that they don't point all in the same direction, right? In this case, I'm gonna do it here so I can fix that little mistake that happened. Here we're gonna do it in this direction instead. Here we're gonna do it in these directions. So you look at your paper and you see, let the design guiding you, and this one in this direction. So we have some movement and some variety. Now we're gonna start with the lines, and you're gonna go around and around. And then from here, you're gonna start to just go like do the curve and connect side to side of the circle. Because we're doing freehands, these lines have to be good quality, but they don't have to be perfect. Sometimes the lines will have a bigger gaps between them. Sometimes they will have a little gaps, right? Because we're working freehands. I want you to be spontaneous, and that is exactly what we want. We want this design to be organic. Remember, we are focusing on geometric shapes, the way that we can use them to overlap them and create a design included in a specific space. We're gonna go on and we're gonna do the same. We're gonna overlap the lines, right? So this is the moment when we test our patience and we stay with those lines. Nice and easy. If you need to move the paper around for your convenience, such as like this, feel free to move your paper around. You know, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Now, because we are starting to overlap several, you need to stay focused because you can get easily confused, right? I will tackle this one immediately. So remember that we start from the oval that we traced first, and then we build those lines around, okay? And remember what I always say, if you feel that you're feeling tired of doing it, you can stop and finish it in another time. What it is important for you to do is that you always finish what you start, right? Sometimes we can finish in one section, sometimes we have to use 2 or 3 sections, and it is okay. You have to do you don't have to push or force yourself, because we want to make sure that your connection with art stays authentic, and spontaneous, and is something that you can truly enjoy under different point of view. It's not like just a mere exercise, but it's a personal deep connection. Okay, so then we're gonna move the paper other side, and I'm going to start over here. Same simple repetition. Curve those lines very well and make sure that the gap between them is not too big, because the bigger is the gap, the less is this, like the movement, right? And the rhythm that is given by the overlapping and these lines that fill the shapes. I will do this one immediately, because with the overlapping maybe you get a little confused about the direction of the lines. So remember that you're following the oval that we did inside each circle. So if you follow that, you're not going to be mistaken or confused. Curve this line as much as possible so you can overlap a little bit also the edge of each line, the end of each line with the previous one. Remember to breathe. Move this around. When you see that the edge is a little confused, you can go with the marker over here. Truly love these loops that were spontaneously created by overlapping these lines into different directions. This was not planned. You see, when I was always talk about, oh, that little accident, the little surprise that happened on our paper, right? And this is really, really something that I'm enjoying. We're almost there. Do not rush. As I say, if you're getting tired of repeating the same lines, take a break. But do not rush those lines. This one is also coming out very beautiful. Now that I think about, look at this one and look at this one, all the overlapping are really nice. They give so much rhythm and movement, and a little dizziness also. If you look at, you feel a little dizzy, which is also like this pattern is gonna teach us that a very simple element, such as lines, because this is the only element that we are using so far, can truly bring a movement and rhythm on our paper, right? So we keep going, keep going. And now we go back from the first one and we're gonna adjust and do something in the center. So we're gonna do a little loop like that. We leave it open, and then we are going to create a stem and a tiny little leaf that we are going to fulfill with black. Now we are turning this beautiful circles pattern with line into apples. This one, of course, will stay like that, but maybe we can put the leaf over here so we can still see the leaf, although we are part of the stem. Actually, in this one, I will close it one more, then I will do the loop that is open, and then I will make the leaf a little longer so we're able to see it. This one too, probably will add one more, then here, stem and leaf. You can put the leaf on right, on left, wherever you think is the best for you and your design. Be spontaneous in this decision. And because we are fulfilling them with black, we will be able to see them. Regardless. Here, I want to place it here. And who doesn't like apples? I love apples. Also, now that we are facing, like we are moving toward the fall, there was like a sort of a seasonal inspired design. Crispy and crunchy and very healthy. So we're going to fill the last two. And now to complete the abstraction of apple, I'm not gonna touch anything inside also because we don't wanna ruin this beautiful overlapping and optical illusion and that. So I will use the apple color like a red to instead fulfill the background. So the little background that we have left. So we are basically deconstructing an apple, right? Instead to color it inside, And to create a pattern outside, we did the opposite. We create a pattern inside the apple and we are coloring the outside. The coloring to the background is not only a reference to the apple, which is the subject of this abstract design, but it's also a way to bring the design together and embracing it. And complete the work on the space, because we know that the entire surface that we have available, that is our space. So the background is as important as the main design. To avoid confusion, you can go around and just like outline, so you define the space that you have to color, and you do not get confused and color inside the apple by accident. If you need to move slower while you color, please do so. What we want is a plain color, no gaps, not changing into the direction of the strokes, no white that we can see underneath. We want it truly, truly, truly bold. Tiny, tiny little triangle over here. Go here. Once again, you need to move the paper, move the paper or your journal. Final touch. We're almost there. And we have accomplished our fall inspired design, inspired by beautiful apple, and we exercise the shape of a circle, the shape of an oval, curved line, blocking out some space with truly black, and then embracing this design by coloring the background. So it's deconstructions, abstract deconstructions of the apple. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you soon with another one. Ciao!